Bonnie, I'm Doug Mitchell, Ogletree Financial. Want to thank you for taking the time out to be on our call today. We try to do these every Tuesday. We showcase a little training session that's going to help you get out and sell more business. Today we're going to talk about the living benefit term product from Transamerica. We've seen a huge amount of growth with this product in our term insurance sales, and you know, it's something that kind of sells itself when you're out there talking to your prospects and clients, because it goes above and beyond just a little term insurance sale. When you can talk to one of your clients about a term policy that also will cover them in the event of a heart attack, cancer, stroke, chronic illness, or even a terminal illness. You know, most of us think that, you know, we're not going to die. That's why we're buying a term insurance. Well, you look around you, and I'm 42 years old, and I can count on my hands and toes the amount of friends and family my age that have either passed away or had heart attacks, cancers, even strokes. And so we're seeing that happen younger and younger all the time. So this is a product that is definitely on the hot button for a lot of your prospects, and so you got to be able to show it to them. It goes beyond just running a term quote from the website, because you really want to show them, hey, this is what could happen if you had a heart attack. Here's what could happen in a stroke or one of those events. So today, Louis is going to kind of run through where you can download the software from our website and how you can input the information for the quotes. We're going to show you how to read the illustration and be able to talk to your clients about that. One quick note that I want to make sure you know of: Transamerica has a great company trip every year, and we don't sell just Transamerica term. We've got term insurance from about 10 different carriers. But Transamerica is very competitive, whether it's your large face amount term that's fully underwritten, or it's your small non-medical policies. So if you're selling a lot of term insurance out there, give Transamerica some consideration. They've got a great company trip. This year we're going to San Diego for 4 or 5 days. Last year it was San Francisco. The year before, New Orleans. Coming up, I hear a rumor that it's going to be in Miami. It just takes $50,000 in premium, which is not a lot. But at the same time, if you're selling $50,000 with Transamerica, you're also hitting the Ogletree Financial trip, which next year in 2014 will be in Cancun at the Riviera at an all-inclusive resort. So you definitely want to pay attention if you're writing business in this environment. You want to pay attention to where you're putting your business, and you can pool all of your production with us. Doesn't matter if it's a universal life, a final expense, a term insurance policy. As long as it's with one of our carriers, we're going to add all that up. And at the end of the year, if you've done $50,000 in premium with us, well, you're gonna get an all expense paid trip to Mexico with us, and that includes your spouse or your guest. It's family friendly, so you bring your kids if you like, but it's a great time. This year, here next month, we're going to Punta Cana. We're taking agents to Punta Cana. So it's always a good time. It's free to you, and that's in addition to the commissions that you get. And we do pride ourselves on giving the top agent commission that's available in the marketplace. So, Louis, I'm going to hand it over to you and let you run these guys through this program, and we welcome your calls afterwards, guys. I know some of David Whitehead's guys may be on the call, so if you've got questions for David, give him a call, or Jimmy Pyron, or Louis or myself. So, Louis, I'm going to hand it on over to you now.
Hey, thanks, Doug. I just want to make one point clear. Somebody asked me this question when you talked about this trip qualifications last time. That's $50,000 in target premium, not $50,000 in premium, because that could be one little bitty annuity, $50,000, and that definitely won't qualify you. It's the target premium that we're talking about.
That's right, and it'll say we've got the guidelines that we are about to be shipping out to everybody, and it states it on there a little clearer. Yep.
Okay, great. Well, hey, let's just talk about a little bit what we're going to do today. And today's agenda, basically, we're going to talk about this TransTerm product. And basically, TransTerm is Transamerica's term insurance product, a basic term policy, pays if you die. It also has a terminal illness rider, so it does pay something if you're deemed terminally ill. But and it's term insurance. It's very competitive, and we'll show you some rates on that today as well. But essentially, that's the product that most people are looking to buy, is some kind of a term insurance policy. We run into this all the time. They've been drinking this Kool-Aid for years that they should be buying term insurance, and we sell quite a bit of it. So the idea behind this, though, is that we've added this new product, and this is from Transamerica. And Doug mentioned this kind of cursorily a little bit earlier about his fingers and toes counting those things. But I want to tell you this, that with these living benefits, where I see the real hot spot for this thing is that one of the things that's about this product is that a person age 60 can actually buy at 65 can actually buy a 25-year level term policy. A term policy take them all the way to age 90. That policy also, with these living benefits, includes critical illness and chronic care. Now, if you're talking to anybody who is 60 years old, or even if somebody's 55 years old, and you're talking to this person, and if they don't know somebody that didn't have a heart attack or a stroke or some kind of kidney failure or cancer, then they don't have any friends. That's all I can tell you. So the bottom line is that everybody, as they get to a certain age, realize that these things happen. And I think the statistics are something like a stroke happens every 22 seconds in America, a heart attack about every 45 seconds, and cancer is going on all the time as well. So all these things are covered in these products. And so this is a great selling point. And when you're talking to people about this, it's people don't. In a lot of cases, you'll run into these characters out there who don't want to buy too much life insurance because their wife's going to get all the money and blow it on some guy with a mustache or something. So basically, that's what they are. But this insurance is for them. This will pay for them because in most cases, before you die, you do have one of these chronic or critical illnesses. I mean, that happens. People don't all just fall over dead instantly. And people that do have these illnesses have a great deal of expenses to incur. And in a lot of cases, if they have health insurance, it's not enough. And it certainly weren't planned. They don't plan on having these things. So it's a great selling tool to have this product. And actually, it doesn't cost that much more than any other of the term products that are out there today. So let's just talk about that some more. Okay. So where do you get the illustration software? Okay, so first of all, if you want to run these illustrations, you just need to go to, and I'm just going to click on here, and we have a website called OFS Brokerage, Ogletree Financial Brokerage, OFSbrokerage.com, and if you go there, this is the home page, and if you go to the Life Insurance Center, you'll see that you can download carrier software, and this is a relatively new website for us, so if you click here, it'll say, I want to download the software, and it has the Transamerica software right on there. So you can click on this, and click on this, and you'll get it. Now, we have other ways that you can get the other software we have, but basically this is just a brand new site that we're getting up, and this is one of the first products that we put on here for downloading purposes.
And you need to make sure that you do run that first one first, and then the second one second, just like it says there.
Okay, so you do that. I'm not going to do that because I've already done this, all right? So we go to there to get these things done at that point. So I'm just going to close this down. And let's just move on. And first I want to talk about, there's a brochure, actually. And this brochure is essentially, let me get it down so it's a little bit readable. It's 52 pages long. And this is the product guide for these products, basically. And I'm not going to read the brochure to you, but as it goes through this whole thing, basically it talks about, and let me just make this a little bigger. So it's issue ages, last birthday. One of the things that when you run the illustrations, you need to, when you do an application, there are these things called kind codes. And basically that needs to go on the application to tell Transamerica what kind of policy that you're actually applying for. It talks about the policy fees, and actually if you have this brochure, I'm going to zip all the way down to the bottom here. It actually has all the rates for all the products in here, And you can actually do this by hand. You don't even need a computer or any software. They have all the rates and values in here that you can sit down and fill it on a piece of paper, multiply. You buy 250,000 times this much per thousand plus the $60 policy fee, and you've got it all covered. So everything you need to know, including all the rates, are in this brochure, and we'll be happy to give you a link to it or send it to you. As a matter of fact, everybody's on here. We'll send this thing to you after we're done, so you'll have it available. But it talks about, the different ways the policies, different rates that we have in the banding. And a little fine point, I don't know if most of you realize this, but, when you're running illustrations, if somebody somehow in their mind thinks that they need $225,000 to life insurance for some reason, most term products are banded at, like 100,000 and 250,000. And I've done this myself many times. I've sold somebody $250,000 worth of life insurance for less than they would have paid for 225, the same company, because of the banding. So when you get to some of these odd numbers, or people wanting to buy or figure out that they need a certain odd number of insurance, you need to run it up the one level banding and just see if that's a better deal for them. And you could really add value to your wholesale by saying, look, you could have bought this from somebody else and paid, only got 225. The same company, I'm going to get you 250. So just a little added point to go do that. But they have all these different rates and in these products and different way that they're priced, so that you can actually, I find that the companies that have more of these different rate stages basically allow you to get a better price quote for that person depending on their specific circumstances, right? There are some companies that have, two price quotes. It's either you qualify or you don't, and this one refines it down. So some people are, I don't know if you know it, but most people, when you look at them, they all are different, and they all have different needs and different, and they have different health issues, and some people weigh more than others, and some people smoke more than others, So all these things are taken into consideration so you can get the best rate for them based on the numbers that are in there. So I'm not going to read this brochure to you, but essentially I'm going to go in and show you how this all works. But once you have this done, you can go read this at your leisure. Again, it's 52 pages long, and the Trendsetter Living Benefits, they have 10-year, 15, 20, 25, and 30-year rate tables. And I believe if you're 58, you can get a 30-year rate. If you're 60 or 59 or older, I think it's 25 years. But a 70-year-old can get a 20-year policy, and an 80-year-old can get a 10-year policy. So, I mean, this all can be done. So they haven't left anybody out on this whole program. So I'm going to close this down and jump back over here. So you'll get you that brochure, that thing to read. Now, that'll tell you more than you ever want to know about the product, but it should help you dramatically if you have that in hand, right? And now we're just going to go ahead and run the software. So when the software runs, basically, it loads up, and it automatically, once you get it on your system, if there's any changes or things that are going on, it automatically does that for you and gets it up and running. And once you set it up, you need to put a producer in here. So as an example, I'm the producer. And if you don't have a license number, you can just put X's in here. All of these fields will end up having to be filled out, but you can just put spaces in here if you don't have the information that you want to put in there, so that you can actually get this to work. But you need to have this one, you ought to know your name. You put that in there, it figures it all out for you. And then you can just put X's in if you don't have a producer number as of yet. Or if you don't know your producer number, you could do it that way. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at me. And then these are all the products that are available, all right? And you can see we got the Trendsetters, 10, 15, 20, 25. And then there's the Express Trendsetters, basically, which are simplified issue products. And then the Living Benefits products. Okay, so we have all these things going for us. If you want the very best rate for a term policy, you want to do the Trendsetter Super. But if you have somebody that doesn't want to take an exam, this Express product is there. And then when we go to the next level, this is Living Benefits, which includes Living Benefits products. So we're just going to pick one of these things, and let's just say a 20. Okay. So basically, we got Living Benefits 20, all right, and we got it in Georgia, and let's just pick another state because Georgia has some exceptions to this whole deal here. So actually, Florida was just added onto this whole thing, which is a good thing. So if it's not available in the state, as an example, if you want to do California, you'll see it's not there, okay? So if it's not there, you can't run it. If you don't have it, if your state's not available. So we got the 20-year, and then basically the way it works is that you plug in the client, put their name in, and then you can either put in their date of birth and its age last birthday. So if you know how old they are, you can actually put their age in. It's real simple. Let's just say this client's 45, and then you go down and figure out male, non-smoker, female, smoker, non-smoker, whatever it is, click the buttons, and it defaults to, in my case, the preferred. It could actually be, preferred choice, preferred plus. I just leave it at preferred just to run the illustration. So then when you go to design the policy, you just move down here. You just, start out, this is the proposed, that's the default. The policy design, basically, we're going to get, just to keep it simple, $250,000, right? And you could have these projections. You can change the years when we're going to project the living benefits. I just leave them at the default. Really doesn't, this guy's 45. We'll just make them sooner rather than later, right? And then we're going to have them pay the premium monthly check-o-matic or, EFT coming out of things. So basically, we just do that. Now, this policy also has some riders. There's an ADB. You can add a children's insurance rider. There's a monthly disability income rider, which is a percentage of the face amount. And then there's the waiver. You can put in waiver of premium as well. And they're old. So I'm going to leave the riders off, but you can always just click any of these you want. And then all we do now is just we run a report. And now it's just going to go in, and first it's going to run what I call a quick quote. And this policy does not require you to have an illustration to sell it. That's why you can actually take that brochure I showed you earlier and just run it off of there. You don't need to run illustrations to sell this. There's no signature needed on an illustration. But you do need to know, when you run this thing, these codes right here, the kind code and the form number. These are the codes that you need to put on the application to tell them what they're buying, basically. So here I ran, this is basically a 20-year policy, but they do give you the rates for all of them. So here's a 10-year, 15. So you'll see that for this person, basically this 45-year-old, he can get $250,000, and it's $31.50 a month for 10 years, all the way up to $64 a month for the 30 years. Okay? And then it tells you what the underwriting requirements are, and so pretty simple. Yeah. And then it just goes and gives you a quick illustration, and it shows you the numbers going forward. And you'll see the premium does get up quite a bit at age 65. All right. But anyway, it's $554 a year. So as simple as that. Then if you want to see the full illustration, you just click on this button now. I could just click on this PDF and save it on my computer, and I can save it, or I can print it later. So I can save the PDF file. I can print it if I wanted to. All right. And then we can also look at the full illustration. I click on this, and the full illustration is basically got 9 pages, right? And I'm just going to slide through this thing. You'll see it's life insurance, the $250,000, talks about the different accelerated benefits that are in there. And then it goes on down through here, and as we go, it talks about the terminal illness benefit, the chronic illness benefit. And then what it says down here, these are these numbers at 50, 65, and 50, 55, and 60. These are the benefits that would be available if he had a chronic illness, okay, based on these ages, all right? So all this is explained in the thing. So basically the 3 different things is, this is the chronic illness. This is for long-term care, essentially, all right? So that's what he can get for long-term care. And then for the critical illness, if he was 60 years old, he really had something really bad happen, he could get $168,000 in cash to pay for his critical illness. So if he had a major stroke and was in really pretty bad shape, this is what he would get. He could qualify for. So basically, the way it works is that it tells you what the benefits would be at that point in time. So he doesn't necessarily have to die to get any of these benefits, and these are just designed to help him. So people have strokes every day that don't even know about it in many cases, and if he just had a minor stroke that just was kind of like almost like a hiccup, but if he knew about it, he might qualify for this. It all depends on the severity of what happens to you, but essentially this is the product that's going to give you the ability to take care of some things if something does happen other than death. All right, and also this is really good if you had a buy-sell agreement, as an example. Somebody was in a buy-sell agreement, and generally speaking, they fund those things with term insurance. But if your partner doesn't die, if he just has a stroke, he's still your partner. He doesn't buy out the company, and you're stuck supporting him, or you're stuck working with his hippie son, so to speak, as a partner at that point in time. But this policy would actually could provide that much money that we could use that as a partial buyout, or at least get them out of your hair, and give them the money and let them go on their merry way, so to speak. So this is just another opportunity to do that. Okay? So as it goes on down through here, it just shows the entire illustration and as a summary of everything that's going on. It's just a basic life insurance illustration with all the information, the kind codes, the premiums, etc. That's all in here, and an illustration of the benefits and the cost-benefit analysis, whatever that's in here. So essentially, it's as simple as that. So if we want to run another illustration, we just go back to the proposed insured, and if we want to run one for a 50-year-old, we just change it to 50. If we want to change the policy design, we want to do $500,000, and we don't. If we want any riders, let's suppose we want to put in a waiver, standard waiver, okay, and then we go ahead and run the reports. It's as simple as that. And now we get a whole new report, new quote, and a full illustration, and you can print these out and make them in PDFs, email them, do what you want with them. So that's how simple it is to run the software. Once it's installed, you pick the policy that you're going to sell. All right. Once you pick the policy, then you just fill out who the client's name is, plug in their age, put in a risk class, okay, and then design the policy. The designing of the policy is how much insurance you're going to have, and when do you want to have these calculations done, and then when they're going to pay, how often. Simple as that. And then if they have any riders, if you want to include any, they're in there, and then you just run the reports. Not a lot of work involved here, okay, to do this. So that's how you run the illustrations. Now I'm going to take it one step further. We're just going to jump back to the we're going to talk about how you can actually, if you're in the business of selling term insurance, and a lot of times when you're talking to somebody, they really don't like to. They're all looking for the lowest price in many cases, especially if you were buying leads from the internet. You need to make sure that you're able to compete and provide them with the lowest price. Now, they may not want to buy the lowest price policy, but they at least want to know that it was made available to them. So we have also on our website, ofsbrokerage.com, we have a complete presentation for doing quotes, basically, and we're just going to jump over there. And this is also, I'm just going to go back to home here for 1 second. Show you the Life Insurance Center, and we click here for quotes, basically. All right. So let's just say, we'll just pick somebody. We'll just go from, I'll just go for this Florida guy again, and we'll say 1975. Date of birth, male, female. We can do preferred or preferred plus or regular. We'll just do a preferred plus. And we can do 20, 30. We could even do level premium all the way to age 120. Basically, just these are guaranteed UL products. So you can no lapse UL. You can do all these things. Run anything you want, even 1-year term. You might not get many things back, but we can leave it at this. So we'll do 20-year level term. It's $500,000, and if we just click, and this is on the website. Whoops. We just click here, and it gives you a complete listing of all the companies. And these are all the companies that we represent. So if you want to sell any of this, if you just wanted to have this available, you can have this, and you can go down through here and pick out the companies that you want to sell. And you can see it goes down through Savings Bank, Banner, American General, North American, Met, Transamerica, Aviva, Lincoln, Genworth. Just keeps on and starts repeating itself. So these are our companies that we represent. And essentially you can also just get a spreadsheet, which would be the top 6. All right. So you just have the top 6 account. All right. And basically it tells you, what the monthly, quarterly, semi-annual premiums, the annual premiums for these top 6. And you can just start with this. Which one of these do you want to get, Mr. Client, essentially? So this is a good way that you can take this and you could, actually print this and email this to somebody, and just basically make sure that you make it a PDF file, send it off, and you'll be all set to go. If you need to send quotes by mail or whatever by email, I'm going to jump back over here. And actually, if we decided that we wanted to go ahead and buy this Banner Life policy, click on that. it's going to give you the page here where you can actually go and find on our website all of the things. So we're going to go find Banner Life, and we can click on this and say new business. We talked, this guy was in Florida. Product life, it's going to be term life, all term life, and then we say look up, and then it gives us all of the forms that we need, which are up on the top in the gold. These are the required forms, and they're all over here. And if we click on this email, we can email it to ourselves, or we can print it ourselves, and it'll print all these forms. And if you need some extra ones, like if you know something about this client that maybe they're let's just say, maybe they're a heavy drinker, you may want to add that one to the thing, if you knew that. Or if they're, going to be traveling out of the country and going to Iran or Iraq or someplace for some leisurely vacation, see the sights, you might have to put some of these things in here. But you can add these forms all the way to it, and you'll get these additional forms up here that you could then continue. You can send them to yourself, or you can print them right out, and you'll get a nice big PDF file of everything you need to write the case. So pretty much is how that works. Okay? And I'm going to go back. Well, I might have to just do this backwards here. Let's go home here. So we ran the quotes. A couple of things that might be of interest to you is that I'm just going to go ahead and change this again back to Florida. Just compare now. Also, there's even a health analyzer on here that you can click on. This health analyzer. This is going to ask you the height and weight. Basically say 153. Do they smoke cigarettes, cigars? Do they do any of that stuff? What's their blood pressure? Are they taking medication? Yes. If they know they're 125 over 84. Say that yes, they're taking what? It's 201 ATL ratio. Let's say it's 5, whatever. So you answer all these questions. Have you ever had a driver's license? Yes. Have you ever been convicted of DUI? No. Whatever. Any tickets? Any family-related things? So diabetes or kidney disease? Yeah. One family member had some kind of problem. Any other kind of special diseases? One family had something. And then we just click here, ask some more questions. When was the last time you treated for blood pressure, etc. So basically you get all the information you need, and then so that we can basically end up with a quote based on the information that we had in there. And this is what they said, this one would be that we qualify for this, can qualify for this. We don't know enough for these over here because that's the question mark. But essentially, that's how it works. You can get all your quotes. You can actually get applications. You get everything you need right at one website. You just need to get appointed with us with these companies, and we'll provide you with all the paperwork and good contracts, and make it easy for you to go out and actually sell this stuff to the people you're calling on. So that's pretty much how it works today. Just to let you know that we have the Top Street producer contracts for all these companies. If you want to get involved and you want to get into term insurance in a big way, or not, if you just want to have it available, it's always a good thing to have as many arrows in your quiver as you possibly can if you're out doing business, because as you well know, who knows what you're going to run into, right? Hey, so we'll provide you with sales materials.
Louis, I want to point something out real quick on that the Top Street producer contracts. One thing that most of us realize in the term insurance business, you sell a 10-year term, you're going to make usually 20 points less than you do if you sell a 20 or 30-year term. Well, the LB term portfolio, the street comp that you'll find with us is 95%, but that you get with 10-year term, with 15, with 20 and 30. So it's a levelized commission across the board. In addition to that, you get a 2.5% renewal, which you don't find on term insurance these days. So pay attention to the contract levels there, guys.
Okay. So we also provide, as we said, sales materials and sales software. We can get you that. We got some marketing videos that have to do with, for the most part, it has to do with Index Universal Life and Max Funded Index Universal Life. We do these weekly training webinars every Tuesday, and also on Thursday we have a marketing webinar. Generally it's designed to be a recruiting webinar for us to recruit new agents, because that's the lifeblood of this industry, is we need new agents all the time. And if you have any friends or associates, be sure to bring them along, because we're more than welcome to have anybody else on the webinars. And part of these recruiting webinars are actually, they're semi-training, because we go through some sales ideas. And, we'll have guys telling me they pick up a thing here and there all the time when they listen to the webinars. We also provide you with full illustration support. We'll run these illustrations for you. It's much better and easier for you to do it yourself, especially if you're in front of a client. You want to get the job done in a hurry. You can do this, and the whole idea behind this is that once you play with this stuff in the illustration software, you get a feel for what works best and what are the better products to be selling, and you'll be very happy to be the expert on this as going forward, and you'll feel a lot more confident, and I think you'll get a lot more sales. We also have some opportunities for some targeted marketing lead lists. We'll show you how to do some mortgage insurance. We have a whole division do that. And we also have these awards and trips and contests that we're talking about. And again, that's $50,000 in target premium for our standard producers, basically, who are, appointed with us as producers. And that $50,000, if you do it in any one of these companies, or it took 10 of them to do it, doesn't make any difference to us, basically. That'll qualify you for a trip. If you do it all at one, like Transamerica, you get 2 trips. Yeah, so that's the program. So at this point in time, I'm going to turn it back to Doug.
Yep. Hey, Louis, thanks a lot, guys. Most of you on this call are already doing business with us. We wanted to get this information out to you. We've had a lot of requests for term quotes, and we just feel it's so much easier to run those yourself and get a feel for it. But what we're going to do is we're going to send out the recording of the webinar today, so you can review it if you'd like. But in addition to that, you're going to have the links to download the software if you hadn't already downloaded it. We're going to put the product guide on the email, and so you'll have everything that you saw here today. And if you have any questions, give us a shout. We can help you walk through it. We can help you walk through a quote on an individual basis if you didn't get it all here with this. But just give us a shout. It's 800-466-8186. And we thank you for being on the webinar today, guys. Y'all go out and sell something. Louis, thanks.
Hey, welcome. Hey, thanks, guys. Call if you need any help. We're here to help. Take care.